That's what we do. Well, good evening, everyone. It is our fourth Thursday of the month, which means it's time for another edition of Marriage Talk. So good evening, y'all know my routine. Give me a second. I got to get this shared to the other pages, and it'll give an opportunity for some people to jump on.
Yeah, good evening, fam. Good to see y'all.
All right. How was your day, honey?
It was great. How about you?
Good.
I see we be running here and just be getting an opportunity to see each other sometimes. So, we in here.
All right. So once again, getting this shared to our page because some people are on our page.
So, Kel?
And hey, Keller. And then we'll jump right on in. Mario with this little bitty phone, y'all.
I need the phone to be a phone. Don't
Okay.
judge me. So don't judge me.
Okay.
I just need the phone to work. The computer and the iPad for everything else.
All right. But anyway. All right. So once again, good evening. It is time for Marriage Talk. And as you can see from our caption, we're going to be talking about security in your marriage tonight. We're going to talk about security in your marriage. And one thing about being married is you want to make sure that your spouse feels secure. And we looked up the definition for secure. And the definition for secure, we have feeling safe, stable, and free from fear or anxiety. Also gives the example, everyone needs to have a home and to feel secure and wanted. Some of the synonyms for secure were safe, protected from harm, danger, sheltered, safe and sound, out of harm's way, in a safe place, in safe hands, guarded, unworried, relaxed, happy, confident. And it also went on to say that feeling no doubt or about obtaining certain to achieve. So we're going to talk about security in your marriage tonight. And before I turn it over to Mario, we just want to thank everybody for all of your likes, all of your shares,
thank you,
all of your comments, all of your feedback. We do want to start directing people to our page, which is Marriage Talk for Mario and Renee. We want to start directing people to that page because a lot of the videos got lost in our personal pages. So we want to start posting them there and start directing people to those pages. With that being said, let's jump on into this security. Go ahead, babe.
Okay, so in talking about security in marriage is one of, if not the most basic essential in your marriage. Both the husband and the wife, you both need to feel secure and to be everything that God has called you to be in the marriage covenant. For the husband to be the priest, the head, the leader, the protector, the provider that he's supposed to be, the husband needs to be secure in his position at home, that his position is solidified, it's solid. And for the wife to be the queen, the uplifter, the nurturer, the helpmeet, Proverbs 31 woman that she is supposed to be, her mind needs to be at ease. She needs to feel at rest and at peace. That's security for her. So, fellas, let me help you out a little bit. With your wife. Your wife doesn't feel secure when you don't have a job, can't keep a job, don't have a plan for a job. And when I say job, I mean when you know, you working for you or you working for somebody else, that's a job. You know, in order for her to help support your dreams, your goals, you know, she got to see some fruit from it at some point. But even, we always, you know, minister and talk. We're in the Word. So in 2 Thessalonians 2:10, paraphrase, the Bible says, "Man, don't work, don't eat." You know, but I'll read it. The New Living Bible says, "He who doesn't work shall not eat." So, you know, your wife must feel that you'll do whatever's necessary to provide legally.
Legally.
Let's put this out there because I don't want y'all to come back from I was robbing and stealing because Mario told me to.
Legally.
No, we didn't. Legally, whatever it takes legally to provide for your wife and your family. Even, you know, from the providing point, you know, she needs to know that you'll tackle a bear for her or defend her honor at any point. You know, you have to be like the military, like when the U.S. military, when it comes to defending the United States, or defending the Constitution. If I'm not mistaken, when they join the military, they take an oath that says, "I will defend the Constitution against any enemy, foreign or domestic." So, and they will obey the orders of the president. So when you got married, you know, you made an oath to God and your wife or your husband. But talking to the men, you made an oath to your wife that you protect her from any foreign or domestic enemy and obey the orders of God.
Amen.
So, you know, a foreign enemy could be, you know, let's just be real, could be a man, could be a woman, you know, but so, you know, you kind of get foreign enemy. But let's talk about the domestic enemy a little bit. So I'll give you an example of a domestic enemy. So we had a situation with my son years ago when he was younger. I can remember he's probably getting around 12 years old, and I told his mom, I was like, "Look, you are not going to like your son for about the next 3 or 4 years. He's kind of feeling himself. You're not going to like your son."
You about to tell me that story?
Yeah, I'm about to tell that story.
Okay.
So she's, "Oh, that's my baby." I'm like, "Okay, all right." So I get this call at work, and she's like, "You got to come home now before I kill it." I'm like, "What's going on?" So he's been, you know, son's being very disrespectful, talking to his mom any kind of way, because again, he's a teenager, he thinks he knows everything at that point, you know, just kind of feeling himself. And my wife knows for you to call me at work, something got to be going on, you know, because I'm at work, don't call me. So she calls me, I fly home. By this time, she's got it handled. You know, she's already talked to him, calmed him down. But I run in the house and I go straight into protect my wife mode. Because when I'm talking to him, I'm not even talking to him from a standpoint of, "Man, you can't talk to your mama that way." I jacked him up and was like, "You can't talk to my wife no any kind of way. That's my wife." You know, that's an example of a domestic enemy. Even with my mother-in-law, I love my mother-in-law to death, and she's been with us here a number of years. Some of you know the story, some of you don't. But my mother-in-law will just start in on my wife as soon as she hits the door. My wife can come in from work. She's tired. She hadn't even put her purse down. And I have to tell my mother-in-law, hey, back up off my wife. Give her a minute. She's going to get to you. She's going to handle everything that you need to handle for you. Just give her a second. So again, you know, a couple of examples of that domestic that needs to be handled. You need to, you know, make sure you're honoring your wife, even from the domestic enemy. Now, ladies, I didn't forget about you. You know, let me help you out a little bit. For what all I said about the fellas, nothing makes a man feel like the king of his castle than his queen treating him as such. That's security right there. That's security that a man needs. When I say he needs it like air. He needs it, he needs it to survive. But because the husband goes to battle every day. He goes out and he does whatever's necessary every day. He doesn't need to come home and have to battle you.
Amen.
You know, when he comes home, he should feel like, all right, this is my place of rest. And just looking at the ball game, some of y'all may get it. But he don't need to come home and have you looking at him like you LeBron, he J.R. Smith that just messed up that game. You don't need that. You know. So in saying that, we have a couple that we met a few months back in a marriage facilitator workshop that we had went to. And in the workshop, we were doing an exercise on security. And as we went around the room, everybody got a chance to tell what made them feel secure in their marriage, from the husband to the wife. And there were quite a few number of people in this room, but there was one particular couple, and it was such an awesome thing. Gentleman's name is Stevie, and his wife's name is Juan. Stevie told, when it came to his turn, he said, and I'm trying to remember like verbatim, but he said he feels the safest and most secure when he can come home and just rest his head in his wife's lap and not have his head shaved.
Not worry about
having his head shaved. Man, I couldn't jump up and run across the room and high five him fast enough. I was like, man, you go ahead, Samson. Lay your head in your woman's lap, and you don't have to worry about you having your head shaved. That's a feeling of security. That's a feeling of security. I'll get off my soapbox a little bit. Just a little.
So, great job on your soapbox. But Mario gave us a lot of biblical background, so I want to actually give some practical to feeling secure. Mario and I, we do not hide passwords or anything. He has access to my Facebook. I have access to his Facebook. We have each other's codes and passwords for our phones. The only reason we have passwords for our phones is the unfortunate situation that we might lose it or whatever. We just don't want anybody in it. But we are able to access each other's cell phones and not have to worry about a text message or a call. Mario leaves his phone all the time. So if you calling him or texting him and he don't call you or text you back, he probably left his phone at home for the day. But if I were to pick up his phone, which I have no reason to search through his phone, because I trust him like that, because I'm secure like that. However, if I were to search through his phone, I don't have to worry about finding anything that's going to make me uneasy. I don't have to worry about finding anything that's going to question him or that I have to question him. So that's another part of security in our marriage. We don't have to hide things from one another. Also, when it comes to being secure, we know one another's friends. There's no special friends. There's no work spouses. So, there's times where people go around talking about this my work wife or my work husband.
No, stop it.
No. All right. You got one spouse. You got one wife, one husband. That's the one that's at home with you. So there's no such thing as a work wife or work husband. And we don't have all of these different friends or that friend that we have to be concerned about, because we have that relationship with each other's friends. As a matter of fact, one of my really, really good friends is a male. However, he's friends with my husband as well. Yep. They have each other's phone numbers. They call each other. They text each other.
That's my dude.
So we create that environment of security, as in, again, we don't have to hide passwords. We don't have to have different logins and all these secure information to hide stuff from one another. And of course, we don't have to worry about each other's friends. So that creates the atmosphere of security for that practical standpoint. As a matter of fact, we're free enough in our marriage that we can see a man or a woman and we can say to each other, oh, that's a good looking man or that's a good looking woman, because we're secure enough to know that no one's going anywhere. When we're watching TV, he knows I have a celebrity TV crush, and if I see him on TV, what? But if I see him on TV, he's not really worried about me lusting over him or anything, because he's secure in our marriage. So we have a discussion question for you to have with your spouse. So we get this from our small group session that we have called I Promise, and we've talked about I Promise before in some of our other videos. But a question that we will pose to you, and we'll actually put it in our comment section as well, so you can remember those questions. Have a conversation or have a discussion with your spouse of, I feel the most secure in our marriage when, and then answer that. I feel the most secure in our marriage when. And on the flip side of that, comment back, I feel the most insecure in our marriage when. And have that discussion with your spouse. So 2 questions for you. 2 discussion questions. I feel the most secure in our marriage when. I feel the most insecure in our marriage when. And have that discussion with your spouse. And by all means, create a sense of security with your spouse.
Yeah. And Nay and we've been asked this, how you guys get involved in this? How did all this, start? What makes you experts on this? We are by no means experts on this. I will say we've got 28 years of experience, well, almost 28 years of experience in December, in being married. So, we've gone down through there before. So that gives us, a level of confidence in what we're telling you guys and what we talk about. We've been there. We've gone through and we've had to work through a lot of these things. We've had to come to learn this stuff ourselves. So before jumping into, well, we're going to talk about marriage and be confident about talking about marriage, we had to learn a lot of this stuff by trial and error. So that's a big sticking point as to why we do what we do, because we have a heart for marriages. We want to see people do well and do better and be successful in their marriages. But a lot of that is we don't want you to make the type of mistakes that we made.
Amen.
Trying to help you out. So if we can help you from wrecking your car and tell you, hey, I just ran my car in a ditch, don't go run your car down in the same ditch. That's what we're trying to do.
Amen. Amen. So once again, create an environment that's a secure environment for your spouse. And again, we'll put those 2 discussion questions in our comment section. I feel secure in our marriage when, and I feel the most insecure in our marriage when. Got anything else to add?
I think that's pretty good. Continue to send us your questions, whether they be in the comment line, whether they be inbox, whether you send us the information one-off on our on our cell phones or whatnot, or send it to the page. We'd love to continue to answer the questions that you all ask us. I mean, we'll study it. We'll come up with it. We will have a topic to discuss each time we get on here. But we want to make sure that we're addressing anything that might come up in your mind.
Amen.
Like we're not experts. We will say this. God has downloaded a lot of great information into us, but it's not us, it's Him.
Amen.
All day, every day, it's Him. So with that being said, I'm good.
All right. So remember to like our page, Marriage Talk with Mario and Renee. As Mario said, send your questions. And of course, like, comment, share. We love to have your feedback.
Yep.
All right. Good night.
Night, fam.
Timer stopped up there for live, but I want to be able to post it. What happened?